This week on PNP News, Bandulu used car procurement saga. The PNP stands with the teachers. The Patriots call for the resignation of the Minister of Security. The PNP rejects the JLP's crime plan. Damion Crawford and Julian Robinson engage students for Youth Month. PNP calls for proper oversight of residential care facilities.
This used car procurement for the JCF will come to be known as the mother of all Bandulu.
Peter Bunting warned that the used car procurement for the Jamaica Constabulary Force would be the mother of all Bandulu.
A contract was awarded to O'Brien's International Car Sales and Rentals for $426 million to purchase 200 vehicles. An advance of $213 million, or 50% was given to the company. Almost 1 year later, only 30 of the 200 vehicles have been delivered.
Now, the Ministry of National Security is being asked to find $16 million to pay import taxes on behalf of the company contracted by the government to supply motor vehicles to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Representatives from the Ministry of Security told Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC, that it was advised by the Ministry of Finance that it should pay the money.
The police force, history of motor vehicle use, have told us that ordinary motor vehicles cannot do the job. The government, having arrogantly ignored the advice, the warning of the opposition, proceeded nonetheless to enter into this contract arrangement in January of 2017, almost a year after announcing in the budget that they would be taking this route. Between announcing that policy decision and now, over 2,000 Jamaicans have been murdered and only 30 units have been supplied to the JCF.
Deputy Shadow Minister of Education Michael Stewart supports the island's teachers in their call on the government for an increase in their salaries. The teachers of Jamaica have endured 5 years of wage restraint. Many of the island's teachers are struggling and are barely able to survive. With end-of-year examinations due to begin next week, there is a lot of anxiety and uncertainty prevailing in the education system.
The Patriots once again called for the dismissal of Minister of National Security, the Honorable Robert Montague. The Patriots first called for Montague's resignation in January 2017 because of the escalating crime rate and also for his handling of the Firearm Licensing Authority scandal. At a recent meeting of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC, of the House of Representatives, it was revealed that while 50% of a $426.9 million contract with O'Brien's Car Sales and Rental had been paid over by the Robert Montague-led Ministry of National Security, only 15% of the 200 used cars covered by the agreement had been delivered to the JCF. We now hear from the President of the Patriots.
The failure of Montague's signature policy is indicative of a man bereft of a transformative, visionary leadership required to bring Jamaicans together to take back our country from criminals, and confirms what we have long believed, that Montague is unfit for the security portfolio. We are now beginning to believe that he is of no value as a cabinet minister at all.
People's National Party Chairman and Shadow Minister of National Security Fitz Jackson says the so-called crime initiatives announced by the Prime Minister and his Minister of National Security at the JLP conference are a combination of old, tried, stale and failed policies being resurrected after 50 years in the tomb. The proposal for mandatory minimum sentences of 15 years for gun crimes was already largely implemented in 2010 among the so-called crime bills of that year. That measure has failed to stem the tide, and the rate of gun-related murders has spiraled out of control in 2016-2017. As regards to the denial of bail, this is another rehash of a failed measure that was attempted in the crime bills of 2010. Those provisions were struck down by the court as an unconstitutional usurpation of the presumption of innocence that is well established in Jamaican jurisprudence. The Shadow Minister has called on the government to have a genuine national consultation on crime and devise a workable plan to facilitate efficient crime fighting by a police force which is well-resourced, well-managed and protected from political interference other than general policy direction. In celebration of Youth Month, using the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's theme, Substance Over Hype, newly appointed Senator Damion Crawford has been speaking at various high schools, and on Monday, November 28, 2017, PNP News caught up with him at the Denham Town High School doing a Do the Math session in trigonometry. Senator Crawford, who is the opposition spokesperson on youth, says his focus on youth and the application of the formula substance over hype will not be confined to the month of November. He maintained that his aim is to carry his intervention further than the hype to more substance.
To encourage them and to interact with them in a mathematics class for trigonometry. So we got the CXC class and we hope that it benefited them. So, you know, sometimes you have to just carry something further than just the hype to more substance.
Also focusing on the theme Substance Over Hype, General Secretary Julian Robinson had a rap session with students at Edith Dalton James High School.
The People's National Party welcomes the announcement by the Minister of Local Government, the Honourable Desmond Mackenzie, to rename the present infirmaries as Adult Residential Care Facilities. There has been general agreement by all local government advocates that this is an appropriate development. We note that the Minister has indicated the government's approval of amendments to the Poor Relief Act to abolish the Board of Supervision and transfer those functions to the Ministry of Local Government. Now we hear from Dr. Angela Brown Burke.
We remind the Minister that a central role of local authorities continues to be that of protecting the poor and vulnerable, that the municipal corporations are still the institutions best placed to do so, given their experience and expertise developed over the years.
The PNP will be monitoring this exercise and paying keen attention to the allocation of resources and physical improvement of these facilities, especially since we are convinced that a name change is not sufficient to provide the level of care required to residents in these facilities. Thank you for joining us for PNP News, a Secretariat Communications production.